take to the streets, fuck the police, no justice, no peace, no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA. So that's Antifa, obviously. So we need to analyze, what are they doing right and what are they doing wrong? So what they're doing right is when another American's rights are violated by the government in acts of tyranny, then the remedy is for we the people to stand up and come together to secure our rights, to circle the wagons. So that's good. The people are standing up for one another when their rights are violated. That's a good thing. So we're talking about America. When we talk about America, we're talking about three different stakeholders who have an interest in rights. The federal government, the states, and the people. This is mentioned in the 10th Amendment. So whatever power is not specifically delegated to the federal government, those powers are reserved by the states or the people. That's the 10th Amendment. So when the state or the federal government violates the rights of the people, of one of the people, or many, then it's up to the people to come together and approach and petition that state or federal agency that's responsible for the violation. So what's wrong about what's happening in Seattle and Minneapolis and DC and New York is that these people are coming together and they're attacking we the people. They're attacking people because of their color. They're attacking people because of their beliefs. They're attacking people's businesses, private businesses, we the people, owned by we the people, not owned by the state, not owned by the government, the federal government. They're burning people's cars, not government cars. They're burning people's cars. They're looting from people's businesses. They're beating up and oppressing people. So that's called domestic terrorism. When you have a problem with the government, with the state or federal government, and you go, instead of approaching them, you go and attack the people and violate the people's lives, liberty, and property, then you're a domestic terrorist. That's what's wrong. And the other thing that's wrong is identifying a civil rights violation as a racial problem. There are no racial problems in America. Every problem we face at the hands of tyrannical government is an American problem. Every American should be offended, and every American should come together to defend the rights of every other American. Not because of their color, not because of their race, not because of any other reason. And that's the price we have to pay to be Americans, is we have to see each other in the public sphere, out on the street, as Americans first. First, we're Americans. The politicians want to divide us. That's the whole strategy. Black Lives Matter, minorities. They want to put you into a weaker group, right? What's the strongest group you could be in? The most powerful group you could be in is to be an American citizen. Why is that? Because as an American, we have 100 million gun owners, 400 million firearms, and 12 trillion rounds of ammunition in civilian hands. That's the number one most powerful armed force in the world. But as soon as I make you a black, then you're cut off from, like, what is it, 85% of the American people, because now you're saying you're black. Right? As soon as I say you're black, and you see yourself and say I'm black, then you've been divided from the American people, from that number one armed force. Now you're only 15% strength of that. And then further, if I divide you, you're a Christian black, and you're a Muslim black, and you're a Buddhist black. Now you're down to 5%. And then I say if you're a 5%er, then you have the Nation of Islam, and then you have, these other groups. Now you're down to 1% of what you were as an American citizen at 100% power. And then divide the white people, Christians and Catholics, and Buddhists, and this and that, and rural and urban, and Democrat and Republican, and now everybody's divided, everybody's weak. Nobody can come together in full force and challenge the tyrants, challenge the tyranny, challenge the global oligarchy for the one world government that they want to achieve. So what's the solution? What's the solution? How do we address tyranny? How do we secure our rights? The other thing that's wrong with these protests is that most of the people are not carrying rifles. They're not armed to the teeth. They're not exercising their Second Amendment right, which is meant to secure all your other rights. So you're weak. They see you like punks, like cannon fodder, and then you get punked around. You get shot with rubber bullets, you get hit with tear gas, you get pepper sprayed, and all kinds of bullshit. Did that happen on January 20th, 2020 in Richmond, Virginia? It did not happen. Because you had 25,000 people show up with rifles, heavily armed. And how did the police treat them? Very respectfully. There was not one tear gas fired, there was not one rubber bullet, one canister of smoke, nothing was used. Because the people had legitimate sovereign power. That means sovereign means that you were the most powerful person on the battlefield that day. The police were no match to the people, so they respected them. But when the police feel that they can overpower you with superior firepower, then you get these different pictures we see in Portland, Minneapolis, with the rubber bullets and the tear gas and all that. with bulletproof vests, helmets, and high-powered rifles, and whatever else they can muster. And they should march on that violating authority, whoever that was, the sheriff's department, the police department, whoever was responsible for the rights violation. You go with as many armed citizens as you can and surround their building and call them out for mediation and discussion and say you're sick and tired of this bullshit, and you order them to cease and desist this type of tyrannical law enforcement, and you tell them you expect them to comply. Otherwise, you're going to be run out of office by force. That's the solution. As a last resort. If they comply, you solve your problem. And if you're the sheriff and you see 5,000 high-powered weapons surrounding your building, and you've got maybe 25 deputies, what are you going to do? You're going to, so you can sleep good at night, you're going to cut your bullshit out. That's called enforcing the Constitution. That's the duty of every American citizen, and we've been given the power to do that by the fact that we can own weapons without infringement. Second Amendment, the right of people, right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That's the way to do it. Not go out and burn somebody's car, loot somebody's business, burn somebody's house like a complete fucking moron. And if that kind of bullshit continues, what's going to happen? The feds are coming now. Now you got the federal government, all the federal agencies are being deployed to snatch these domestic terrorists up off the ground, and they're probably going to enforce the Patriot Act against them. And if the federal government fails to control that, then we, the people, are going to have to go in and control that. Because we're not going to allow these goddamn communist, Marxist, Antifa bastards and BLM bastards to burn our cars, burn our businesses, loot from our businesses, and attack we the people. That's domestic terrorism. That's not going to fly in the USA. So it's time to wake up, grow up, get a pair of balls, get a rifle, get some ammo, get organized, and start doing shit right. Learn how to be an American citizen and stop acting like a goddamn Islamic terrorist. You want to turn America into fucking Afghanistan. That's what the BLM's trying to do. They're trying to turn this into Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, Iran. Fucking chaos. That's not going to happen. We have 100 million gun owners and 400 million firearms and 12 trillion rounds of ammunition says, fuck you, that's not going to happen. So time to wake up, stop acting like little babies, little punks, and start acting like men and women. You guys are in your 20s, it's time to grow up. This isn't a fucking cartoon, it's not a fucking video game. It's not a fucking reality TV. It's real life, and we have real bullets, and we will fucking use them if you keep doing domestic terrorism. So cut your fucking shit out right now.